Today I'm going to review a childhood favorite of mine, SpongeBob SquarePants. I grew up with the show and it is always, to me, it is one of the best animated comedy shows ever made. It premiered on Nickelodeon in 1999 during the summer where after I finished first grade and was going to move on to second grade in August. It is, in the first episode I remember watching is the Sandy's Rocket episode where SpongeBob and Patrick accidentally launch Sandy's rocket and then they land back home in Bikini Bottom and think they're actually on the moon, and they kidnap all their friends and neighbors and net guns thinking that they're aliens in disguise. And I thought that episode was funny, and I thought the episode following, Squeaky Boots, was also funny. A few days later, I watched a marathon of SpongeBob episodes on Nickelodeon, and I've been a huge fan of that show ever since. It is one of my most favorite cartoon shows ever. It is hilarious, fun, and charming. Just good escapist fun. The animation style, the voice acting, the jokes, the characters are all hilarious. I love Tom Kenny, the guy who voices SpongeBob. He's done a lot of great voice work in animation, including the mayor in the Powerpuff Girls and Hef in Rocko's Modern Life, also made by Nickelodeon, and also Dog and Cat Dog, also made by Nickelodeon. And Clancy Brown, who plays the villain in the first Highlander movie, he voices Mr. Krabs and does a good job with that. And Roger Bumpus is hilarious, voicing the egotistical, sarcastic Squidward. And Carolyn Lawrence does a good job as the Texas accented Sandy Cheeks. And Mr. Lawrence, I forgot his last name, but he does a good job voicing the evil villain Plankton. And Tom Kenny also does a good job voicing SpongeBob's pet snail Gary, who some reason they chose to make him behave like a cat. All the snails in the show behave like cats, and all the worms on the show behave like dogs. And the plot is set in an anthropomorphic view of underwater life where the characters live in houses. Patrick lives under a rock. SpongeBob lives in a Squidward lives in a tiki god house, statue for a house, and SpongeBob lives in a pineapple. And SpongeBob and Squidward have this day job where they work for Mr. Krabs at the local fast food joint called the Krusty Krab. Man, I wish there was a real life restaurant chain based on the show called Krusty Krab. Why didn't they do that? Do that after the show became popular? That would have been awesome. Just going in there, seeing characters wearing the Krusty Krab hat uniform and ordering a real life Krabby Patty. That would be fun. It would be a childhood dream come true. Bill Frackenberger does a good job as the voice of Patrick, SpongeBob's next door neighbor, who is very gullible and very dim-witted, but also SpongeBob's best friend. The dim-wittedness of the character never fails to make you laugh. It's just so hilarious. And I love how both SpongeBob and Patrick annoy the crap out of Squidward and get on his nerves, and even though they're oblivious to how much he despises them and think of him as another best friend. And I love Squidward, how the humor comes from his lack of talents in art and music, even though he thinks he's a genius at it because of his ego. And I love how, even though he gets annoyed by SpongeBob and Patrick, there are moments when he shows that he really does care about them, especially when their lives are in danger and he gets worried. I love that he has a soft side despite his stuck-up personality. And Mr. Krabs is always hilarious with all his greed, and his daughter Pearl is also hilarious with her being a moody teenager who's always embarrassed by her father's greed and silly personality. And Mrs. Puff, I forget who voices her. I think it's the same actress who voices Pearl, but she's always hilarious with how SpongeBob always fails his driving test, and it causes her to inflate into a blow-up fish and say, "Ooh, SpongeBob, why?" the highlight of this series was, to me, was the first 3 seasons and the first movie that, along with the episode Sponge Could Fly, the movie and the Sponge Could Fly episode were supposed to be the finale for the series, but the show's popularity made Nickelodeon demand that the show last longer, and it was good through season 4, and some episodes of 5 were good, but after that, that's when the show lost its touch. The jokes became lame, the humor became dry, the writing sucked, and to me, like, seasons 1 through 4, or 1 through 5 are the only good seasons. The rest are just mindless junk. And they should have ended after season 3. That's my opinion. My favorite episode from season 4 is Crabs versus Plankton and Karate Island. Those are the most hilarious episodes of that season. And although, like, one of the few good ones after season 5 was the one where they forget the name of it, but they celebrate SpongeBob's birthday, and on SpongeBob's birthday, SpongeBob and his friends, they go up to the surface and they see all the voice actors playing live action versions of their human versions of their characters, like Mr. Krabs is Mr. Slabs, and I forget what the other live action versions of the characters are because I haven't seen the episode in a while. But and there's another good episode from Onward where it's the stop motion Christmas special. I really like that one, and the other ones were just lame. And I also like the one with SpongeBob lives with Gary. I can't remember what season that is from. And me and my best friend growing up, Brett Johnson, we would play this game where we would act out an episode of SpongeBob, and we would quote the episode word from word, and each play a different character. And sometimes, like, we did the episode Survival of the Idiots one time where I was SpongeBob, he was Patrick, and I had a teddy bear that the teddy bear would lay on the couch and we'd pretend it was Sandy taking a nap, and we would pull the fur off of her. Such fond memories. Thanks for the memories, Brett. Alright, that's my review. I give SpongeBob 10 out of 10 stars on IMDb. I give the first 5 seasons. That goes to the first 5 seasons. I give it 10 out of 10 stars on IMDb. And 2 thumbs up on here. Alright, if you like this, please hit the like button, subscribe to my channel for more great content. Bye.